Hali the Mastiu were Quackle to Hunt Meetnam at Tasnam. We are to Hali at the Tatu the Mastiu. The Siatlaqash at the Mastiu were Quickwichtum Tab to Humasquium. Ni was Heath to Startlow, ni were Quinet to Sparkum, he fight the tattoo, he nemestuch the tattoo at the Quadqua. Ni Telcum Namasteo the tattoo. Dear friends, relatives, ladies and gentlemen, the ancient village known to the Musqueam people as Tsasnam stood in this vicinity for centuries. People who were speakers of Hunkamitnam, the language of the Musqueam people, lived at the village of Tsasnam as long as the land here has existed. For a long, long time, the Great River has been carrying silt from the interior of the province and pushing the ocean shore further and further west. Our people have always lived at the ocean shore and followed it as the delta progressed westward. The traditional style of house built by our ancestors was of a massive post and beam construction and of a lean-to or single pitch, also been called a shed roof style of house, with the high side almost always facing the water, whether it be the river or the ocean or a lake. Affixed to this massive post and beam frame was a smaller frame that was used to fasten sheathing to the side of the house. The sheathing was made from large planking that was split off of standing cedar trees. Once these planks were split from the cedar trees, the tree was allowed to stand and left to live and continue growing. Roof planks, known as eeltuch, were carved with a lip along the lengthwise edge, and these were placed on the roof in alternating fashion in such a way that they form a trough to allow rainwater to drain away from the roof. When Simon Fraser arrived in Musqueam territory in 1808, he paced off one of these houses at Musqueam village and measured it to be 180 feet long by 90 feet wide. The deposits that came to be known as the Marpole Midden would have been peripheral to the ancient village Tsasnam. It's one of the biggest archaeological deposits in North America, and the fact that it is gives us a hint as to the size of the village Tsasnam. The population of our people was much greater in the pre-contact time than it is today. Diseases that came to North America with the Europeans preceded the arrival of any Europeans here on this coast. They moved from community to community from the East Coast and came over the mountains, described by many of our ancestors as a black cloud coming over the mountains, and decimated our population. Traditionally, the Hunkamitnam speaking people, our ancestors, would always keep sentinels posted at the ocean shore overlooking the Salish Sea. Many of you know as Georgia Strait. They were there keeping an eye on all of the entrances to the strait so that they would always know when visiting parties were approaching. When parties did approach, they would send runners to each of the villages on a relay, alerting the people to the approach of visitors. Villagers would then make preparations in accordance with whether the visitors that were approaching were friend or foe. If these visitors happened to be friends, preceding their arrival, the villagers would gather on the shoreline and await their arrival. Friendly visitors, as they approached in their canoes, would each in turn sing a paddle song that would identify them and connect them with their home village and identify them to our villages that they were friendly people approaching. Once they arrived offshore from villages such as Tasnam, they would then formally request permission from the village leaders to come ashore. Once this formal request was complete, the villagers would then sing to them. They'd all join together and sing to them a welcoming song, inviting them ashore. And one of those songs sounds like this. I see it, yeah. Please enjoy the rest of your evening.